Today we are talking about time, and we want to be able to ask what time is it? We want to be able to say what time it is. We want to ask at what time an event is, or what time is something at, and be able to say it is at, and then to give the time. The first question is, what time is it? So to say what time is it, you would say que hora es. Que meaning what, hora meaning hour, and es meaning is it. The next question is, what time is it at? I failed at typing that, and I said, what is it at? Obviously, that's supposed to be, what time is it at? Technically, in English, you're not supposed to oftentimes you don't end a question with or a sentence with a preposition, but a lot of people do. But technically, the question would be, at what time is it? To ask that in Spanish, you say, a que hora es? And so a meaning at, que meaning what, hour, is it? You cannot ask que hora es a, you have to ask a que hora es. And that means what time is it at, or at what time is it? So let's pretend that somebody has just asked us, que hora es? Meaning, what time is it? And we want to answer that. In Spanish, you say things a little bit differently than you would in English. In English, you would say, it is 2 o'clock, or it is 2:30. However, in Spanish, you phrase it slightly different. If it is 1 o'clock, you would say, I'm going to write this in English, the direct translation. It is the 1. If you want to say any other time, you would say they are the 2, or they are the 3, etc., etc., etc. Notice I'm not saying there are, but I'm saying they are. So how you format this is you use the verb ser, and you conjugate ser for the number of hours. If it's 1 hour, you're going to conjugate it for one thing. If there are more than 1 hour, you're going to conjugate ser for more than one thing. So 1 hour would be es, more than 1 hour would be son. Remember that this is third person singular. It could be he, she, you formal, or in English when we say it. Son would be they, or all of you, or if you're talking about anything that's more than one, that doesn't include I in it. So we're going to use ser, and then we're going to say the. So if we're saying it is the 1, you have 1 hour, and so you conjugate this for 1 hour, and then you're going to say la, because hour's feminine, and you only have 1, so it's going to be la, and then you'd say una. So if you want to say it is 1 o'clock, you would say es la una. If it's any other time, so 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, all the way up through 12 o'clock, you would say they are, got more than 1 hour, so 2 hours, more than 1, be son. Then we're going to say the, and remember that hours are feminine, so it's going to be las, because you have more than 1 hour. And then dos, or you could say tres, or whatever. So son las dos, that would be, it's 2 o'clock. We're going to do a little bit of practice. I'm going to give you a time, and then I'm going to ask you, what time is it? Que hora es? And you will answer in Spanish. It is okay if you just speak it. In fact, that would be preferred. Alright, the first time is 1 o'clock. Que hora es? Hopefully you said es la una. The next time is 3 o'clock. Que hora es? Hopefully you said son las tres. Alright, the next one is 6 o'clock. Que hora es? Hopefully you said son las 6. Next one is 11 o'clock. Que hora es? Hopefully you said son las 11. And last one, it is 1 o'clock. Hopefully, we already did this one, hopefully you said es la una. Don't forget that 1 o'clock is different than all the other ones. Make sure that when you give the time, you always say the. You must say the before you say how many hours there are. Now imagine that we want to give a time that is more than just on the hour, so it's 2 or 3 or 4. We want to say it's 2:20 or 2:40, etc., etc. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to say, I'm going to give the time as 2:20. Alright, so we have 2 hours. So we're going to say son. They are the 2. So son las dos. And then for the 20, we're going to say and 20. So son las dos y 20. So if I wanted to say 3:15, I would say son las 3:15. I'm going to come back to this, but you can also say cuarto. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that, but 15 and 30, you can say quarter or half rather than 15 and 30. But we'll come back to that. Alright, so son las 3:15, that would be it is the 3 and 15. Or they are the 3 and 15. Let's say that I want to say it is 4:17. I would say son las 4:17. Alright, so if you are giving time up to the halfway point, you say the hour and then the minutes. However, if it comes after 30, you do the next hour minus however many minutes. So 4:30 would be son las, I'm sorry, I'm going to do 4:29. So son las, no, I'll do 4:30. Sorry, that's confusing. Son las 4:30. Now then, I want to say it is 4:31. That comes after the halfway point, so I'm going to do the next hour minus 29. So 4:31 would be son las 5. There are 60 minutes in an hour. 60 minus 31 is 29. So son las 5 menos 29. And that would be, it is 5 minus 29, which would be 4:31. So let's say that I want to say it is 6:55. Okay, that comes after the halfway point. And it is 5 minutes before 7. So I'm going to say son las 7. They are the 7. Minus, or menos, 5. Minus 5. Alright, let's do a little bit more practice. This time I do want you to write this down on a piece of paper, and as always, you will turn this into Moodle. Or at least if you would like credit, you should. Alright, the first time is 1:13. Que hora es? Alright, you should say es la una, it is the 1, y 13, and 13. Alright, the next time is 2:23. Okay, hopefully you said son las 2:23. Next one is 11:05. Okay, hopefully you said son las 11:05. Okay, this next one is a little bit harder. I want you to say 11:35. Okay, what I ask? Son las 12:25. Alright, don't forget that since it's after the halfway point, you do the next hour minus however many minutes it is until the next hour. Alright, another one like that would be, ¿qué hora es? Alright, hopefully you said son las 7:-7. That is supposed to be an E. Siete. Let me rewrite that because I failed. Son las 7:-7. Okay, a few more things that you need to know about telling time. There are a few phrases that make things convenient in telling time. First of all, if you have 15, so for example, 1:15, 15 would be cuarto. So you can remember that because it's similar to quarter. It's a quarter past the hour. If it's half, you can say media. So 15 is cuarto, half is media. So if you want to say it is 3:15, you could say son las 3:15. You can also say son las 3:15, but cuarto is sometimes easier. If you want to say 2:45, you'd say son las 3:-cuarto. It is 3 minus a quarter. If you want to say it's 5:30, you could say son las 5:30. A couple other phrases that are important would be en punto. That's similar to saying o'clock. So if you want to say specifically that it's 1 o'clock, not before, not after, but on the dot, you'd say, I don't remember the time that I gave you, but let's say 1 o'clock. You'd say es la 1 en punto. Alright, if you want to talk about the morning, you'd say de la mañana. Mañana means tomorrow, but it also means morning. If you want to say the afternoon, you say de la tarde. If you want to say in the evening, it'd be de la noche. And actually, tarde goes pretty late. You would say tarde until up into what we would call night. So let's say 6 o'clock, you would say de la tarde. Noche is a little bit later. I'm not sure exactly what the time cutoff is, but you'd say noche. So let's say that you wanted to say 3 o'clock in the afternoon rather than 3 o'clock in the morning. You'd say son las 3 de la tarde. Two other phrases that are important would be midnight and noon. So midnight, 12 o'clock a.m., midnight would be medianoche. Alright? Noche is feminine, so it'd be medianoche. If you're talking about 12 o'clock noon, or 12 o'clock p.m., it'd be mediodía. Dia, even though it ends in an A, is masculine, so it'd be mediodía instead of mediodía. And finally, you learned how to ask what time is it, ¿qué hora es? You also learned how to ask what time something is at, and that would be ¿a qué hora es? So if you want to know what time something is at, you say ¿a qué hora es? Or somebody asks you what time something is at, how do you answer that? Okay, if you said son las tres, you're saying it is 3. We don't want to say it is 3, we want to say it is at 3. So let's say that the question is ¿a qué hora es la fiesta? So what time is the party at? Or grammatically correct, you'd say at what time is the party? So we want to answer that. We're going to say la fiesta. We want to say the party is at 3 o'clock. So la fiesta es, the party is a, meaning at, and then we're not going to say son las tres, we're just going to say las tres. So before time, you always have to say las. Don't ever forget to say las before the hour with time. However, in this case, we don't say son because that would be saying it is now 3 o'clock. So we're not going to say son. We're going to say the party is at the 3. If we said ¿a qué hora es la clase de español? So at what hour is the class of Spanish, or Spanish class? You're going to answer that. Spanish class is at, let's just say 11 o'clock. So, la clase de español es a. So right now we have the class, I forgot de. So the class of Spanish is at, now we need to give the time. We're not going to say son because I would be saying what time it is right now. We're going to say es a las 11, is at the 11. Let's do a little bit of practice. I'm going to give you some sentences and I want you to translate them. Pause the video and then I will pause the video, translate them, and then I'll give you the answers. First one is nice and simple. I want you to translate what time is it. Alright, what time is it? Is ¿qué? Don't forget your accent. Hora es. What hour is it? Alright, ¿qué hora es? I want you to give me the time in Espanol for this clock. Okay, it looks like it's about 1:50. So we're going to say the next hour, 2 o'clock minus 10. We're going to say son las 2 menos 10. Okay, I'm going to give you another clock, and I want you to tell me what time it is. Okay, ¿qué hora es? Looks like it's about 10:10. Might be 10:09. We're going to say 10:10. Or I'm going to say 10:10. So you say son las 10:10. ¿Qué hora es? Alright, looks like it's 11:56, so we're going to say 12 minus 4. Son las 12 menos 4. Alright, for this one, I want you to give me the time and I want you to say in the morning. So, ¿qué hora es? It's 11:05, so we're going to say son las 11:05, and then we need to say in the morning. So we're going to say de la mañana. Okay, for this one, I'm going to ask you, what time is Homer Simpson's party at? Alright, so we have several things that you need to do here. I want you to say, Homer Simpson's party is at 1:15 in the afternoon. Right? Make sure you say in the afternoon. So, ¿a qué hora es la fiesta de Homer Simpson? If you need to pause the video and answer that. ¿A qué hora es la fiesta de Homer Simpson? So to answer this, we're going to say the party of Homer Simpson is at 1:15 in the afternoon. Or we can say 1:15 in the afternoon. So we're going to say la fiesta de Homer Simpson es it is at la una. Una is one. Make sure that la is not las, but just matching una. So es a la 1:15. You can also say 15 instead. So 1:15 de la tarde. Okay, at this point, upload your practice sentences to Moodle and ask me any questions that you have tomorrow in class.